Niche University. We got Akbar Sheikh in the house. Akbar is, in my opinion, like the king of niching down. You have a very successful business niching down in the coaching space. Akbar, if you don't mind, can you tell, I guess, the audience a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, maybe a little bit about your backstory, where you are today, and everything in between?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Gosh, where do I begin? It's been kind of a crazy journey. My good God. Well, yeah. I guess today, thank God we have, we found some success. We help experts really launch a seven-figure coaching business. The situation is most experts have a gift. Everybody has a gift, the light within them, whether they help people make more money or get in better relationships or help them with their mental stuff or help them get healthier, whatever. The situation is they're usually pretty good at that, but they suck at the business part of it. They don't know what funnels to use, how to position themselves, how to message themselves, how to niche down, what kind of traffic to send, how to sell people, how to retain people, how to grow from there, the whole business aspect of it. So that's what we do, is we help experts really monetize their expertise and maximize impact and profitability through systems and stuff. So that's today. The backstory is interesting. So listen, we used to be homeless. Okay. I used to live in an electrical closet. How did I end up in an electrical closet? I come from a middle-class family, an entrepreneurial middle-class family. You see, I was in terrible shape. I was 50 pounds overweight. I was married to the devil. I was in toxic relationships. I was a junkie. I was an alcoholic. I had severe gambling issues. Put it to you this way: on a typical Wednesday morning, I'd be at a casino. I'd be at the roulette table with a bottle of Jack. That would be a typical Wednesday morning. That was kind of that was kind of my lifestyle. That led to a crippling anxiety disorder, which that was basically like my low, and I basically hit rock bottom. I ended up in half dead in the emergency room for mixing too much alcohol and Xanax. But I survived, and I'm here today. I'm not a ghost. And, I really took advantage of that, I think. I'm happy to say, I'm honored, I'm humbled to say that, yes, I do feel that I took advantage of that second chance, that God saved me. So I immediately dropped all my bad habits. I immediately started getting spiritual, started praying. I dropped all my bad relationships. In other words, I became healthier mentally, physically, spiritually. Because mentally, physically, spiritually, I was rotten, basically. And I basically cleansed myself, and I healed myself. And that journey led to, living in an electrical closet for a little bit. But, it's interesting, man. Like, no one likes to talk about this a lot because it's not sexy or whatever, but the reality is, like, I have a very talented cousin. This guy has been broke forever. He's extremely talented, maybe even more talented, probably more talented than I am. He can't make any money because he's in a real, can I use like PG-13 language here?
You can use whatever language you want, brother. You've heard my presentations.
So he will try to keep it family friendly, but he's in a really shitty marriage. He's just like in a terrible, terrible relationship. He's mentally shot. He can't produce because he's mentally unwell, which that translates to him being physically unwell because he eats a lot of junk food, which hurts him, affects him spiritually. He can't make any money. And it's been like that for many, many years. And it was like that for me for 10 years. So it wasn't, if you really want to talk about step one, that was really step one, is to cleanse myself. Then we could start seeing some success. So after we did that, thank God we've seen some success. We've helped 8 funnels hit 7 figures. We just hit somebody hit 8 figures. A bunch of people, hit 6 figures, so on and so forth. I don't really care, to be honest with you, about the money. Our mission in life is everyone's got a gift. We're pretty good at helping entrepreneurs make more money. So we want to help people make more so that they can give more to their favorite families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. I tell people, I was a junkie, so I got high from a lot of things. But I'll be totally honest with you. The best high of my life, easily, has actually been giving, and it's actually been the most profitable thing I've ever done in my life too. So that's something that I highly implore people to get involved in.
I love it. And I'm going to recap that because no people are coming in and out now. So basically, from what I understand, you started off hitting rock bottom and then literally to where you are today. I mean, I've personally seen you speak on stages. I've seen you in ClickFunnels videos. I've seen your posts, and your group is massive. You have thousands of people in your coaching program group. I mean, you're a success story if I can even say it. Like, that's amazing. So for one, congratulations on that. And I think the main reason, and I think because I interview a lot of people and we get a lot of people on the show, and in our marketers mindset group and in the DashClicks community, we have tons of people that we interact with. And what I'm starting to see is like the pattern is all of these people that are super successful, they're all for some reason, they're all super, super niche down, right? Like even all the people that you see at like ClickFunnels, like you use ClickFunnels as a perfect event, right? So ClickFunnels, like all these people, they're building funnels. It's for one specific topic. Maybe like somebody like, you know, like Billy Jean is talking about like the king of like Facebook ads and entertainment and stuff like that, right? You do coaching, right? People like Dan Henry also helping with like Facebook ads and building courses and stuff like that. So like everybody who I've seen that's doing 7, 8, even 10 figures, like some crazy guys in the space, like they're even look at Tony Robbins, like one of like the guys who are like massive. Like it's all like motivation, mindset, like rebuilding yourself, things like that. It's like niching down. I think the issue with a lot of agencies is most people, especially in the agency space, because especially when you're starting, you just want to go out and grab everything that you can, right? And I did that when I started, until I started DashClicks, which now our niche is, hey, our goal and our niche is we want to help agency owners accelerate their business with our tools, our education platform, and our white label fulfillment. So that's the way that we can provide value, but we only work with agency owners. So that's a very specific niche, right? And by going after that, we're able to like literally target, and you see my presentation at CareCon as an example, right? Like targeting specific people within that niche, targeting specific groups where all those people are congregating in that specific group, right? So like when you're talking about niching down, there's so many different layers that you can attack that you can't do if you're just on a general basis, right? Yeah. So maybe, Akbar, if you can share some of the stories about like, maybe like how you started, for one, your business, why you decided to pick coaching in the first place, and kind of like where you're at today with the business, how many people are in your program, like the things that you do to kind of like make your niche layer like even stronger, some of your marketing channels that you're using, things that even though an agency owner, even though they're not starting a coaching program or helping coaches, or maybe some of them are, right? But they can take, because it has nothing to do about what you do. It has to do about business in general. I think that's another thing with agencies nowadays. They're all looking at like agency related courses. But like for me, I mean, I watch tons of stuff. I watch motivational stuff. I watch mindset stuff, rebuilding the mindset, team building. Like that stuff has nothing to do with an agency. It has to do with being a business owner and an entrepreneur, right? So niche is a very big topic. And I think you're like super niche, which is like even, I think like the more niche you can get, like somebody even like Nick Robbins, right? Talk about super niche, right? He's going to be coming in here in a couple of weeks too. Super niche, this guy does like, he works, I don't even know how the hell to pronounce what it is that the target, it's like doctors that specifically work on like some random name. It's like a very specific type of doctor. Right. And he goes after that, and that's it. And he's got a multi-million-dollar agency just from going after that small little sub niche, right? So that's like the importance, I think, of doctors, right? It's crazy.
Doctors who deal with the rare leg sprains,
Yeah, it's like weird. Like, hey, I have like Cat Howell. I do vagina sprays. And, it's like that's my niche now. I'm targeting vaginas.
That's pretty niche. Yeah, it's pretty
good niche, and it's probably a profitable one.
You're not gonna target Jehovah's Witnesses for a while.
Yeah. So like maybe Akbar, if you can share like some of your like success stories on like starting out, what made you kind of like just go here and up and up? Like what were the things that you did?
You said a lot of really interesting things that I think we should unpack, right? So first is, it's interesting. One of the things I trip about the most is the entrepreneurial journey, right? You said that when you were an agent. So by the way, I had an agency too. You said that when you first had an agency, you kind of just like, all right, let's just go. I'm going to help everybody out. I did the same thing. And I think most people do that. I actually think that's a mistake. Right. And this is like, if I was to go back and talk to my younger self or to advise someone who has an agency, I would say one of the hardest things you could do is say no, especially when there's someone ready to give you money. But I can also tell you that one of the most profitable things you can do is also say no. The reality is like, okay, if you're, for example, a Facebook ad agency, right? And you specialize in primarily, I don't know, whatever, helping lawyers get leads, right? For example.
Yep.
And this doctor comes up to you, right? You figured out that whole psychology. You know what the lawyers, you know what the pain points are of the clients. You figured out all the intricacies. You figured out all the psychology. You've got it nailed down, right? Now some doctor comes up to you. Well, okay, well, cool. Let's try that. Now you're experimenting with, and now you're thinking, oh, I get to experiment with other people's money. Okay, interesting. But that's a terrible idea. No, by the way, we've all done it. Let's just be honest. But it's a bad idea. It's a bad business decision because historically, statistically, you're not going to get many results because you're experimenting and it's new and you've never tried like that niche. So now you have someone paying you good money. You're not getting them results. That's bad because now they're going to leave you. Okay. So now all that manpower, all that effort, all that systems and procedures to get someone, they're leaving. And then they're actually going to badmouth you. Right. So I'm not saying don't go into other, how are you going to figure out your niches? By the way, you mentioned like coaching and agencies. Here's a little tip that I recommend. How are you any different? Every time, here's the problem right now with agencies, right? Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can literally wake up out of bed and change his Facebook status. I'm a expert top 1% Facebook, digital marketer, ad agency, right? What makes you any different from them? It's interesting what Chad was saying earlier about mindset. Business is business is business. All business needs help with mindset, sales, traffic, tech, blah, blah, blah. I can keep going, right? What I did with my agency, one of the things that made us different, and I highly recommend for you guys to do this, and any one of you can do it, add a coaching element to it. All right, now think about this. Imagine, okay, every agency, like one guy's agency shopping, and you're $2,000 a month, and everyone else is $2,000 a month. What makes you different? Well, what if you said, hey, as part of our, we treat clients holistically. We treat your business holistically. Included in that is actually our coaching program. And the way that works, guess what? We have a few experts. We have a mindset expert every week. You can come in to the live like you guys are watching now and talk to a mindset expert to really get your week started right. Okay, we actually have a tech expert that you have some tech issues with whatever you're doing. They can actually help you on the spot, fix a couple little small things. Whatever, maybe a copy expert, maybe this, maybe that, whatever. Maybe some general business practices. You can have some pre-recorded trainings. You can hire someone, a lot of even big people, you can actually pay them for an hour. Typically, a lot of these people are actually $250 to $1,500 an hour. And you could actually buy a training from them and put it in your back area. And you can include a coaching model. So be like, oh, wow, this is a holistic approach. Wow, everyone else is kind of the cost the same, but you have this whole additional element. Wow, that's a pretty interesting proposition. So we did that, and that was really one of the most. That was really successful.
It's fun. I some of the bigger agencies, I see what they do is in the agent space. The biggest hurdle that a lot of people come across is everybody focuses on the front end of the funnel, right? Let me build a badass funnel. Let me drive Facebook ads, traffic to it. I'm going to get the business owner a shit ton of leads. And then they do that, and the client still cancels because they can't close the leads, or the receptionist is not answering the phone, or the conversation is not going properly, the script, whatever it is. So what I see is like same concept that you literally just said is like, take that element and say, hey, I'm going to be driving a lot of leads to your business, but we all know that leads is just leads. Like, I'm physically going to help you and train your staff. Maybe if you're working with like a dental practice as an example, right? I'm going to work with your receptionist. I'm going to QA some of her phone calls on a weekly basis, and I'm going to write a list of pointers, and I'm going to work with her on things that she could say to actually close these deals. So that way you can get an ROI faster, right? So that's like things like that are things that actually go ahead and differentiate you, like completely different. Like you just said, like every other agency owner is like, Facebook ads expert. I help I help realtors get 40 guaranteed leads per week. Who's seen that like on the Facebook profile under their name, right? It's you and like the 4,000 other people that live in Fort Lauderdale, right? So it's like, you're 100% right. You're no different than anybody else. And I think that the sad part is, one thing is niche, but another thing is like adding, like it's almost like called like a value add, right? Like what kind of value add? Like even like when you see like you go to all these events and stuff like that, like what really gets you? Is it really the offer? Like I'll give you a perfect example. Steve Larson presented at CarrotCon, right? And his presentation, it was $9.97, and he was talking about all of these like training courses and all of this crazy stuff that he was going to give you. And then he said one thing which was a value add that for me triggered in my mind. It was like, hey, we're going to extend your ClickFunnels membership for 3 months.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I pay $297 a month for ClickFunnels. It would cost me $900.
Right.
He's charging $997, so for an extra $100, I can
Right.
just get all of this stuff. So you see how like things like value adds, bonuses. Why do you think like people like Russell Brunson, all these big presenters, they go on stage, they have their product, which in your case or your agencies that are watching, it might be Facebook ads or building funnels or whatever the case is. But where's that bonus? Where's the value add? Where's that thing that's going to make you completely different? That's going to make the offer so much better.
You know, it's actually really, you see, one of the things that's been bothering me lately, bro, is the marketplace. The marketers are really polluting. You see, I love entrepreneurs, bro, because I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and entrepreneurs are problem solvers. And I truly feel that entrepreneurs, I'm not trying to be like elitist or try to say we're better than anybody, but I think entrepreneurs really help make this world a better place.
100%.
So I have a problem. This marketplace pollutes the mind of the everyday entrepreneur, because you have all these marketers who are master manipulators, convincing you that you need something you don't in order to succeed, because they're trying to sell you something. So the reality is, let's really dumb it down for a second. Let's strip away all the noise for a second, and let's just take a look at one of the most successful companies in our space. Let's take a look at what ClickFunnels just did with exactly what you're talking about. ClickFunnels had a board meeting with all their top people, and they took a whiteboard and they stripped everything away. Okay. They took all the noise out and said, let's go back to the basics. We have a customer. They are a small business owner. What do they need to succeed? Okay. They need the funnels. They need to know how to do the funnels. They need some live support with that. Okay. You know what? This whole game is 90% mental. So they're going to need some mindset help. So what did they do? They took their premium, they created this new thing, this premium $297 thing. And what is it? They gave the customer every goddamn thing they needed. They needed mindset help. They went and got just like I told you, go get an expert. Well, they went and got a really big expert. They went and got Tony freaking Robbins, the best mindset guy out there. So you want mindset help? We're going to get you the best guy in the world, right? Now, don't worry if you can't get Tony Robbins. There's plenty of great people you can get that are not Tony Robbins. But the point is, holistically, again, let's look at this. We have a customer. We want to keep that customer. You see, here's the thing, bro. Right now, you can just fill up the office you're in right now. Fill it up with people. Talk to each person. You're going to sell. You're going to sell to some people. Selling is easy, right? You can always sell to people. It's just a numbers game. Just talk to enough people, you're going to sell people. The key is to build an empire, to really build a business, is how do you keep them? How do you retain them? And I think, and if you just take a look at what ClickFunnels, treating the situation holistically, giving them everything they need to succeed. Why the hell would they leave? You said that people leave because, dude, my job is to get them leads, and I'm doing this. Agency owners are frustrated, right? My job is to get them leads, and I'm getting them leads, but they still freaking left. I did my job. No, that maybe back in the day, that was easier. That was your job. That's not your job anymore. Your job is to get your client success. Now, perhaps that means they suck at sales. Give them sales training. Get them a sales trainer. Have them, like that coaching on us. Your job is not to get them leads. Your job is to get them business. So maybe their funnel sucks. We need to help with that. Maybe their sales procedure sucks. So I really say, that's the core nucleus of your business. And one of my top recommendations is focus on that and try to eliminate as much of this pollution as possible, because it's I joke, right? If my wife takes me to court for being a terrible husband, right? There's going to be 2 lawyers. Every time I say that joke, nobody laughs. Yeah, that makes sense. Your wife takes me to court. But there's going to be 2 lawyers, right? I'm going to have a lawyer. She's going to have a lawyer. It's the lawyer's job to manipulate the jury so that they can buy their story. Because that's their job, so you can buy their story. So guys, forget about all that crap and really just focus on really what's take a look at Hell's Kitchen, bro. You know Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay?
Yep.
Every episode's the same, bro. He goes to all these broken restaurants, these broke restaurants. Every episode's the same. The menu sucks, the food sucks, the service is no good, the decor is no good. It's these same problems every single time. And all he does is go there and fix the fundamentals. So it's the same thing with funnels too, by the way. Funnels are only not working for literally 5 reasons: scarcity, likable authority, messaging, social proof, and reciprocity. That's it. There's no other reason your funnel is not working. So really, this is kind of this is the good life, man. We're living in a good age. We are historically the early adopters of the internet. The truth is the internet actually did not come out. The internet did actually not become popular until roughly only 10 years ago when the original iPhone came out. That's when the internet actually truly became popular. And right now we're still in the very infancy stages of it globally. Like Stripe is not even accepted like in most parts of the world, right? Every day, so many millions of people are getting online. Historically, we are the first early adopters. And when the camera came out, when the camera first came out, people would go like this because they thought that the camera would take a piece of their soul. That's what they thought. Because it was a new technology and they were like this. But the reality is, bro, this is the modern day golden era. This online thing is so simple. Your competition sucks so bad right now because the barrier to entry is so low. And right now people are still treating the internet like it's that magical lottery ticket. Ooh, I wonder if we can make money on that online thing. Oh, we're going to dip our toe in that. Ooh, will that work? And they treat it like it's this mystical thing. But the reality is business has been the same since the beginning of time. For the longest time, it was only in retail stores. Then they invented mail. Then they had mail order business. Then the television was invented. Now they can advertise and do business on television. So, but the fundamentals have stayed the same. Internet is just since day one. The ethical principles of persuasion of how to do business, the fundamentals have been the same since day one. The internet's just a new medium on how to do it. And I think it's hilarious when people treat the internet like it's something different. It's just a different medium to do actual pure business on. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is we're leaving the fundamentals at home and we're just chasing the shiny objects. That guy says, I guarantee 40 leads, 40 real estate leads. Okay, we guarantee 45 leads. We guarantee 45 leads.
And that's another issue that it's fun because we have, we're at the point where we have over 10,000 agencies in DashClicks.
Wow.
And awesome, you can imagine like the conversation, the amount of we probably get on average of about maybe 200 to 300 open live chats per day through our support channel, which is in our company. So you can imagine like those conversations, and we notate and we see patterns, and we create like help docs and support, just like every other tech company, right? So you can see like the same. It's like almost like a pattern that you can see. It's like the same issues that think about having a conversation with 10,000 people. There's going to be like the same topics, right, that are going to float up to the top, right? And most of those topics are the beginning agencies are like, okay, like I just started my agency. I want to go in. What do I do now? Like I heard that DashClicks was like this platform where I can come to and start an agency and I don't need to do anything, right? Mm-hmm. And the sad part about that is it's like, so like, it's not true, right? Because being a business owner, for one, means you have to actually work on your business, right? You have to physically work on your business, right? So the mindset that a lot of these people get, it's a mix between them not wanting to do anything, that's a purely mindset issue. That's being lazy, and it's like, okay. And it's funny because I wrote up a whole ad yesterday. It's going to be live on Facebook soon. But the whole ad was talking about like laptop lifestyle, how like that one magical word. And like in the ad, I'm like, if you want to live this magical laptop lifestyle, then just like stop reading this ad. We're not here for you. We don't want to work with you. Just like keep scrolling, get out of here. Right. The mindset that people have is like, I'm going to sit on the beach with my laptop, drinking a freaking lemonade and watching these magical Stripe payments come up on my computer. Like it doesn't work like that. Right. Right. Yeah. It's like, and I have we have a big team at DashClicks. We have an entire office, multiple employees. Right. And I come to work every day. I'm here at 8:30 in the morning and I'm usually leaving at about 5:30 or 6 p.m. Right. And then even when I leave, like everything that's going on in the business is still in my mind, right? So how can you live like a laptop lifestyle? It's not possible, especially in the agency space. If you're living the laptop lifestyle, you're not a business, you're a freelancer, in my opinion, right? And that's like the huge differentiator, right? So like that's like the number one, like floating to the top, like the conversations we get. It's like, oh, how do I just sign up 10 clients and give them to you and then not do anything, right? It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like, are you not going to like call your clients? Are you not going to build a relationship with them? Are you not going to answer their emails, their phone calls? Are you not going to do calls once a month to go over their reporting and their metrics? Or like, are you not going to do like any of those things, right? And that's like, it drives me crazy. And it's like, I'm trying to like figure out how people process things in their mind. It's like when I think about an entrepreneur, like for me, like when I come in the morning, like I want to, even if I have nothing to do, because there's days where I come in and, you know, we have a big team, right? So a lot of things get delegated, right? But even if I come in and I have nothing to do, the first thing that pops up in my mind is like, okay, what can I optimize to make the business better? What can I go and work on right now that's going to have a major impact in the business and help my team? Maybe is it like creating a help doc because we're getting too many support tickets that'll alleviate that? Is it working with the Facebook team to do like a new training with them and show them how to build funnels better so our campaigns can work better, right? Is it like all of these things? And then like I get a support ticket and we're like, hey, you know, we want to send like 10 clients to you, but because we don't want to do anything, right?
Right.
Like, where are we going with this, man?
Where are we going with
I know we're getting off like the niche subject, which is the subject of the hour. But like, it's so important. And I really want people to understand. And we have a new program that's coming. I can't talk about it because we're releasing it very soon. But we have a new program where it's basically like building a scalable agency. The tagline is build a scalable agency. Don't just be a high paying 9 to 5, right? Because that's what most people are. They're like in their mind, it's like, they just want to be a freelancer. They want to work a couple hours and then like, that's it, they're done. Like, whereas us business owners, like our mind is always moving. As entrepreneurs, our mind is always moving. Things are always coming up, ideas, even the shiny object syndrome, which every single person has. Like I am like the eater of the shiny object syndrome. I have it like multiple times a day. And it's so hard for me to like turn things away and say no. But you have to focus. I think focus is a major.
Yeah, that's so true. Like the focus, you know, if you want to talk about like the niche thing, right? So for the longest time, bro, I was not. Matter of fact, for most of my like online career, I was never niche down enough. So I had this. Okay, so I had this crazy idea. If you want to go like through my journey real quick,
I'd love to.
So you know Frank Kern, right?
Of course, yeah.
So Frank Kern's had this thing for years now. It's his inner circle, and the way it's worked is that it was like $300 a month, and he would have like you get training, and then like he'd host like a weekly live Q&A, and he'd have like a Facebook expert, and he'd have a Facebook expert that helps people with their Facebook ads. He'd have like a tech person helping with the tech. So every day he'd have some sort of expert giving live support. In other words, he built this community for entrepreneurs, right? Because again, entrepreneurs, they all need the same thing, like tech help, help or something. And I saw that model and I was like, damn, it was very attractive to me and I just liked it a lot, right? I'm just like, I like that a lot. That's what I want to do. I want to do that, a very similar thing. Because I love entrepreneurs and I just want to create an environment for them to help them. So now we're getting a little off topic here, but I sold myself this story that was false. And the reason I want to mention this, because I think it'll help some people. I sold myself this story that I cannot build that, right? And of course we all do the dream math, right? I'm like, oh wow, if I only get 1,000 people, 300, that's 300,000 a month. Right? Oh, you know, we all do that dream math, right? But I sold myself this story that, okay, I can't do that unless I become an international bestselling author. I get a bunch of 6-figure and 7-figure case studies. I get awards. I speak on stage. I get on top podcasts. I get into press, blah, blah, blah. I sold myself the story that why would anyone join me unless I was like this authority? So I did that piece by piece. I got the book, I got the awards, I got the 6-7-figure case studies, I got the stages, I got da. And then I'm like, okay, now I can do this. I just want to tell everyone that's completely false. Like, you don't have to do all these things to go build something really cool. As a matter of fact, there's people, like, you gotta understand something, like in a lot of those circles you're in, like, you know, the top players, they're not making that as much as you think they are, by the way. The people who are really crushing it, you don't even know about them. You know, you don't even know what they look like. And they're doing like 10, 20 plus million a year, right? You know, and bigger numbers, you don't even know who they are. You don't have to, and that was me being polluted by the marketplace, that I was just sold this story by other people trying to sell me stuff that I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. So I actually opened an agency as a pop-up shop, as a means to an end. I never had a long-term vision, but I just did it to get some success stories so that I can build my kind of inner circle, right? And I had all different types of entrepreneurs. We help people in real estate. We help people in coaching. We help people in e-com. We help people in supplements, all different, any kind of entrepreneur. Our thing was, we'll help any kind of entrepreneur as long as they're ethical and they're trying to make the world a better place. Dude, I caused myself a lot of headache, man. And I'm glad we're doing this. And I hope that, you know, I get into some people's ears and tell you, man, I busted my butt and worked and caused, bro, I'll put it to you this way. I just shaved recently. I don't know if you can see this. Half my hair, I don't know if you can see this, but half my hair is gray. Before I got into the business, I have a picture. I had 0 gray hairs. This was only a few years ago. I had 0 gray hairs, a lot like yourself. And honestly, a lot of these gray hairs were caused by the stress of not niching down. You know, that, and I have 2 crazy kids. And
I got one of them, so I can relate to you on that one.
And a crazy wife too. I can get a reaction. No reaction ever. But no, really though, because I didn't niche down, it caused me a lot of stress. Because think about it, bro. Like, I know entrepreneurs are nice and everything. They want to help everybody, which is really what we wanted to do. But dude, you can't help everybody. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you really want to go down deep, it's a little it's a bit of an egomaniac trip to think that you can help everyone, because you can't. We're all given, we all have gifts. We all have skill sets. Who can we help with that? Do you know what I mean? Now, what I'll tell you is it was problematic because they're asking me very specific, like, I remember entrepreneurs asking me very specific questions about, like, you know, like e-com stuff. I don't know. I'm not really an e-com expert. And they're asking, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Now I have to, like, go figure it out and, like, you know, spend a lot of money and, like, figure things out and so on and so forth. But when I niche down to just coaches, now, before I even get into that, people ask, well, how did you do that? How did you niche down? How did you decide what to niche down on? Well, I honestly just it was actually pretty simple. I took a look at, hey, what has made me the most money and allowed me to do the most, create the most impact? You know, because I've had an agency, I've sold courses, I've done coaching, but I added a coaching element to my agency. I added a coaching element to my courses, and then coaching is obviously coaching. And I said, man, coaching has actually consistently throughout everything I've done, that's actually allowed me to create the most amount of impact and allowed me to generate the most amount of revenue. And I took a look at the marketplace. I said, man, coaches generally are not doing very well. And and why is that? It's because they're good at like we said in the beginning, they're good at their gift, but they're terrible at messaging, positioning themselves as an authority. Terrible at marketing. They don't know how to market. They don't know what kind of funnels to use. They don't know how to sell people. I'm like, oh, I'm good at all that stuff. I figured out how to sell people. I figured out what kind of funnels to use. I figured out how to position yourself. I figured out the messaging. I figured out, you know, this whole system. So I said, okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at the marketplace. Coaches are suffering. They're suffering because they lack X. I am good at X. Let me give it to them. And I can tell you now that in my career, the current group of people I have now is the best group of people I've ever had. They are as engaged as ever. They are all like-minded people. They're all givers, because that's the message we put out, and you get what you put out, right? You attract what you put out, you know, magnetic marketing. And I can tell you, man, I am very happy right now with our group of people. And here's the benefit of it. And here's where you can stop getting white hairs. And here's where things are actually a lot more simple. And I think that's something we should be asking ourselves on a daily basis. Hey man, how do I make my life simpler? They're all the same set of problems. You see, before I had some econ problems, I had some supplement problems, I had coaching problems, I had course problems, I had this problem, all these different types of nuances in life. And it's like a million people in my head. It's just like, oh my God, like what is happening? Very stressful. But now I have one set of issues. I have one set of problems because coaches, they have, and I can speak. And before I'm talking to a group of people, I'm like, well, one guy, this is ecom, one guy is a speaker, one guy is, and it's like my advice is maybe helping, but it's like, well, it's irrelevant to me. Now everything's relevant to everyone. I can say one thing and it's relevant to everyone. I can systemize, I can scale out. And dude, here's another mistake, by the way. I beat a dead horse too long. Dude, I couldn't, when I was just helping every entrepreneur, yes, we did well, but I couldn't scale that because it's too all over the place, right? Too many problems, too many sets of problems. It's too difficult to scale. Once you niche down, here's the benefits of niching down. Less stress, a hell of a lot more enjoyable. You get people more results, and you can actually scale it. You can systemize it and actually scale it.
Dude, I've seen people do like literally copy and paste, not technically copy and paste, but like even from like a campaign level and like funnels and stuff like that. Like they literally will get an attorney in Miami, Florida, then they'll get another attorney in New York, and they'll literally just replicate everything over that's working. Change obviously some stuff, minor stuff, and press play, and then it works there again, right? And the system is the same. The follow-up leads is the same. The scripts that you're helping them with the receptionist is the same. Like everything is exactly the same. So like 100% agree with you on the scalable aspect. Another thing that I want to ask you is,
and just to illustrate that, sorry,
go ahead.
Just say one quick thing. What took us a year, as far as members go, what took us like a year to get when we were not niched, it took us several weeks to do once we niched down, just to illustrate it. So sorry, you were asking.
Let me ask you another quick question. So the viewers that are watching, they understand, because coaching can mean a lot of things. And I know you probably have a lot of different styles of coaches in your group. Can you just maybe name some examples of some of the coaches that you have in a program? Not specific people, just like the types of what they do.
The typical buckets are primarily the same, right? You have people, relationship coaches, people, health coaches, business coaches. Now, business coaches, that falls under agencies too, right? Because when I had an agency, we had a coaching model. So anyway, coaches typically help people make more money somehow. So like an agency, help people get healthier somehow, whether it's physically or mentally, or help them in their relationship. Those are the main buckets of coaches.
Never even thought about that, and that makes perfect sense because I can't even think of any other ones. And if I did, they would drop into those three buckets because I see all these funnels and ads and everything on my Facebook page, and I'm like, all day, this has got to be one of Akbar's clients for sure.
We primarily teach organic marketing.
All right, I got a question here for you. A question just came in. How did things change for Akbar when you niched down, and how long till you niched down from when you started?
Yeah. So I think so. We like I mentioned that things totally changed. The stress away was a lot more enjoyable, and we were able to scale it, right? And how long till you niche down from it? Yeah, too long, bro. Like it took me too long to do that. And I got to tell you, like if you're not niche down right now, which I'm sure the majority of people here are not, because that's just the stats of it all. I would say make one of your number one priorities right now to niche down.
And I can put a stamp for rolling because I give you a perfect example, like real life scenario. Like when we were when we had our agency, okay. Like I said, we were at the beginning, and I opened my agency in 2009. So you can think about like how way back when agencies fucking first started, right? But like going and opening my agency, I was taking everything, and then I realized that I couldn't do it well. And the people that we helped the most and the best was then in the home services niche, right? Which was one specific niche, and then there was like little sub niches under that. So like home services were you know, like locksmiths, they were plumbers, electricians, garage door repair guys, flooring guys, roofers, like all of those guys. Those were the niches that we were basically going after, right? And once we started doing that, we were able to like literally scale our agency really, really fast because it was almost like duplicatable process. We know that each one of those specific people in the home services niche, all they wanted was phone calls. That was like the niche. They didn't care about form submissions or anything like that. They just wanted phone calls. So our goal was not to get form submissions. It was to get phone calls, right? And then we started replicating that process over and over and over. And we started getting higher conversions, lower CPAs and things like that. And that helped us. And then now, Akbar, are you still with me? I just want to make sure I didn't lose you.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. I think your camera shut off.
Okay.
But
I'll fix that.
anyways, regardless, it's like going in. Then it was like DashClicks came, okay, and then it went from servicing multiple different sub niches under the home service category to like only working with agency owners, right? And for me, it was like, holy shit, this is perfect. This is exactly where I want to be because I have an agency. Since 2009, I've been through the process of hiring, firing, protocols, process, team building, retention, fulfillment, sales, prospect, like everything that you can think of in the last 10 years, I did it, right? So all this knowledge that I have in my brain, it's like, if you tell me to go train you on how to play soccer or how to lose weight, I can't help you with that. Just like you said, like, I'm not a fit guy, to be honest. I'm skinny with a belly, right? So I'm not the type of person that's going to go out and train you and teach you like what to eat and fitness levels and stuff like that. It's just not me, right? So one thing that I can say for people who are watching, like when you're picking your niche, also try to pick something that you can relate to, something that's relatable to you, something that you can understand. Like I've seen a lot of people when they start niching down, like a perfect example, I was speaking to an agency owner the other day, and he used to work for a roofing company, right? He worked for a roofing company for like 5 years, and he was doing door-to-door sales for this roofing company. And then he went off and he opened an agency, and who do you think his clients were? So roofing, all the roofing guys. He knew the lingo, right? He knew what it cost to get a lead. He knew what the ROI would be when they actually got a lead and they closed the deal. He knew everything, so he built his agency and only targeted roofers. So his sales calls were like, "Oh, are you doing shingle, or are you doing tile roofs? Or are you doing barrels? Are you doing this?" Like shit that we don't even know about, right? So this all the way from the prospecting to the sales, to the fulfillment, to the retention, to the relationship building, everything was so aligned because he had this whole background. I've seen it happen so many times with people in Dash. It's like they went from being a real estate agent and now they're an agency that serves real estate agents and brokerages, right? Because they understand the backlog, they understand the knowledge, they understand that everything that's happening in that specific niche. So it's like super tied down, right? Yeah. It's just like another thing that I can provide of value to the people that are watching.
Another thing that could help, right? All right, so check it out. And I know like some people are frustrated, like trying to niche down. Like, how do I niche down? So I mean, let's talk about that for a second. Let me see if I can give you something to think about. If you meet someone at a networking party, right, and they say, hey, and you ask them, hey, what do you do? And they say, oh, I help people lose weight. I help people lose weight. Like, okay, cool. Nice to see you. Thank you. Yeah, it's very surface level. It's very generic. Now, if you meet another guy at a network party, say, hey, man, what do you do? He says, oh, I actually help fathers lose weight so they actually have more energy to play with their kids so they can start raising them instead of Peppa Pig.
I'll buy that shit.
There you go. Now, do you see what just happened? Do you see what just happened? I have a movement. I have a belief. I have an environment. I'm trying to accomplish something. I'm trying to get dads healthy so they can play with their kids. What kind of sick demon is not going to buy into that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And I've had people, when I give that example, say, dude, I'm not even a dad and I want to buy that. Because it's beautiful. Like it's something that people can buy into. And I think that's one of the agencies, as far as a messaging point of view, I think that's one of the biggest opportunities in the agency world. I think pretty much no one is doing it. Right? They're all just kind of
anybody doing it. All I see is people doing the same, like, hey, start off with a 1 free month trial so we can get you Facebook ads. Like everyone is doing the exact same thing. If I saw somebody that did one thing that was different, I would actually stop and look at it, right? And be like, what is this guy doing that's different? I've never seen this before, right? And I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I think that's what people need to be. And by the way, okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. Why I think everyone should develop this. In other words, what's the why that makes you cry? Our why that makes us cry is make more, give more. We want to, you see, what had happened was when we always hung out with losers, right? Growing up, I always hung out with party animal rock stars, and it really held me back. When I started going to like masterminds, like, and hanging out with people like yourself, Chad, like, going to these kind of events that we've been to, and hanging out with more like-minded people, a guy introduced me to an organization called Sight Savers. Now, when I was hanging out with my loser friends, we never talked about charity. We talked about why girls weren't talking to us, right? So he introduced us to a company called Sight Savers. Now, sightsavers.org is a company that actually, for the price of a cheap date, for like $80, you can actually pay for the eye surgery of someone in a third world country and give them the gift of vision.
Wow.
Now, when I heard that, I literally started crying because I thought it was I was overwhelmed. Wait a minute. Because I have a spending problem, right? Wait a minute. For the cost of like a dinner, $80, which I'm going to eat and forget about tomorrow, I can actually pay for someone's eye surgery and they're going to go from blind to seeing. And I mean, it just blew my mind. Now for me, I was emotionally overwhelmed. It literally became a why that made me cry. Now for you, you just have to, you might not have that reaction, but you just have to find something that gives you that reaction. And now you're gonna say, okay, how do I do that? Step one is to level up, right? Hang out with people like Chad, hang out with a higher group of people, right? Get into masterminds, go to these events, things like that. Change your environment is the answer for that. But you need to develop this environment in your agency, this why that makes you cry, this mission that you're into. Like, for example, why? Okay, let's give an example. What you tell me, Chad? What's more powerful? We help divorce attorneys get 30 leads a week, or we help. I'm just gonna make this up. We help divorce attorneys find moms who are in pain, so that they can help them get back to a normal life.
Obviously the second one, just because also the first one I probably seen on 100 people's profile. It's differentiating and it's being different in the market, and it's also standing behind almost like a little bit of a movement in a way. It's an emotional thing.
The first thing agency owners need to understand is your competition blows, right? My cousin, I grew up in Connecticut. My cousin lived in New Jersey. If you don't know geography, that it's a bordering state, about an hour and a half drive. My cousin decided to set up shop in Connecticut. I said, bro, why are you going to drive an hour and a half each way every day? Why don't you just set up shop in New Jersey? You can do real estate stuff there. He said, bro, the competition's really cutthroat in New Jersey, to be honest with you. The competition sucks in Connecticut. I can compete and I can beat them easily here in Connecticut. So that's why I'm going to set up shop here. Agency owners, right now, your competition sucks. It's the barrier to entry is there is none. So that's the quality of competition. So if you just are a little different, you're really light years ahead of them. So it's really a congratulations to you. It's not going to stay like that. As you know, Chad, it's not going to stay like that. Right now is the golden era. You have to take it. It's like, bro, it's like imagine yourself as a 7-foot basketball player playing against a dude who's 4 feet tall. That's what the situation is right now. It's not going to stay like that. So you should really take advantage, niche down, be unique, and take advantage now while you still can.
That's the Where's Waldo effect right there for you.
Yeah. And by the way, take that money and invest it in something long-term like real estate. Otherwise, you're just going to spend it and lose it and look back years later. Oh, I remember the golden era. You can't do that anymore. Where's that money? Oh, I spent it.
Do not buy Lamborghinis.
Do not buy the yellow Lamborghini.
We have another.
I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. It's just a thought.
Yeah. Oh no. I was joking. Okay, we have another, because everybody always hits me with Lambo jokes.
No, but that's an though.
Yeah. I mean, I have other investments and stuff like that. So that's just I'm So for me, and I might as well just tell people because I probably already told people, but like for me, like, and I think like everybody has this statistic against like, oh, don't buy like the cars and the watches and the shiny. Like I don't really buy a lot of that stuff. The one hobby that I have is, and the one thing that I enjoy, and it's pretty sad to say that when I leave the office, I don't have any hobbies. Like I don't go and play basketball. I don't play golf. I'm not a sports guy, right? So for me, I enjoy cars. I've enjoyed cars my whole life, right? And that was like the one car that I always wanted. I would always, like, as a little kid, have those little Matchbox or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was always like playing with Lamborghinis. I was like, dude, like when I get older, this is like the one, if I could afford it, and it didn't kill me, and it's not like I'm not that to buy something if it's going to like crush my bank account, right?
Right.
If I can afford it and it's completely stable and doesn't really affect me too much, like this is the one thing that I really want to get for myself as a present, to have that like that level of like, okay, like I made it to this point, and it took me
I think it's great.
10 years. Yeah.
I did the same thing. And I'm not materialistic. I did the same thing. I got a Bentley, but the thing is, I'm actually not a car guy. And that thing, actually, I saw it the other day. There's actually, like, somebody will strangle me who's a car guy. There's literally spider webs in the hubcaps because it literally just sits collecting dust in the garage. But yeah, I think that's a cool thing to do too, for like, your mindsets. It's just like one gift to yourself that, hey man,
one thing, and this is a stupid trait that I have, and it's something that my wife laughs about me all the time, is I don't recommend, don't try this at home. Okay. But I always, for some reason, put myself in really stressful situations because it actually helps me level up. So like sometimes, like I remember, like I used to live in an apartment, like maybe like 5 years ago, right? It was me and my wife living in an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, and we wanted to grow a family and have kids. So obviously we wanted to get a house. Started looking for a house. I was looking for a house that was like 250 grand, 300 grand at the time, which is like a normal price for like a nice home, right? And then like, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm thinking my future is like, I might have 5 kids in one day, and I need rooms, and I need, like, I don't know what I want, right?
Yeah.
So then I kept going up and up and up, and whatever it was, doesn't matter what the price is. I ended up buying my home for a ridiculous price, and I knew at the time that it was probably such a stupid idea to put myself in a situation like that.
Right.
But I did it anyways because I knew that I would have to somehow make those payments. I'd have to make those mortgages. I would have, and once again, do not try this at home. But I constantly, continuously do that. And what I realized is when I put myself in the corner, I put myself in a situation like that, for some reason, again, God's on my side, it always helps me just level up to get to that next level. And I keep doing it every time. And I do like something spontaneous and random like that, like once a year, something just dumb where it's just like, Chad, you should probably think about this before you do something. Like, I'm just going to do it. And then it levels me up. I don't know how, but it works.
That's funny, bro, because my brother told me the same. So when I was living in that electrical closet, I was on a bunk bed, and I lived with my brother. And when I got an apartment, I got him an apartment. Wow. And he told me, like, I don't know, I think like a year later or something, he now runs this like really successful e-com company, 8-figure. And the only reason I mention that is because, like, I mentioned that for a few reasons I'll say in a minute, but he told me like a year after, he's like, bro, when you got me that apartment, that things really changed, because before I was living in an electrical closet, I didn't really have much responsibility. But when you got me that apartment and I had to come up with that rent money, it forced me to go out there and produce, And
so that's what it does to me. Yeah. It for some reason, it puts me in a corner, and I feel like it's probably not a good idea also because your stress levels go up when you get in situations like that. But for me, I've always been like, I got to be under a little bit of stress, even if it's not a lot. I got to be under a little bit of stress. The stress, for some reason, pushes me. Thankfully, my mindset, I control what comes in and out. But I don't know. That's just me. Everybody's different, right? Yeah. We got another question that came in. It says, do you recommend to start off with one niche right off the bat if you're just starting out with an agency? So start off with one niche, like maybe just like coaches, or would you recommend maybe doing like 3 niches, or I don't know, like different examples?
I can only talk from my experience, and I really recommend, starting off with one, because the thing is, like, you really want to get to know them like the back of their hand. You want to know them like their mama knows them, right? So like you want to ask them questions and like you want to write the answers before they even answer, and the way to do that, I think, is to hyper focus on one person. And then again, this is shiny object. And here's the thing, bro, what's your goals, right? What's your goals, man? Is it to have $1 million agency? Is it to have a $500,000 agency? What are the goals here? I think that is like the first question, that people need to answer, is one of the first questions, because bro, like, okay, if you want to hit 7 figures, right? Holistically, technically, in the beginning, what do you need? One offer, one funnel, one source of traffic. That's really all you need, right? To hit 7 figures initially. Then things get a little, complicated. But I always recommend one niche, bro. I mean, like, it's like this, bro. It's like a wife, it's like it's a full-time job having a wife. I mean, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with 3 wives. It's like, damn, dude, I gotta figure out what I gotta remember the birthday.
One is enough, I promise you.
One is more than enough to really dedicate yourself to like one person.
No more hierarchy.
I said that just to get a laugh out of it, but I think that analogy makes a lot of sense too, though, right? It's like, and God bless people who have a lot of kids. God bless. Listen, it's hard for me to visualize that though, because I know people with like 8 kids, 6 kids. I'm like, bro,
yep.
How do you like know like each kid in and out, like on a deep level? Like, where do you get the time for that? Like, how do you remember everyone's birthday and the personalities and what like? Dude, I got 2 and I could barely keep up with them. As a matter of fact, I can't keep up with them. And it's like, stick with one, and really go deep. Go deep.
Well, that answers your question. Stick with one niche. One niche, one wife, one kid. No.
One Lamborghini.
One Lamborghini, one car. Nothing else. All right. We got about 2 minutes left. So I think we'll wrap it up here. But like, Akbar, thank you for one. Thank you. Oh, wait, somebody just dropped one last question. We'll get it in. What would be your approach for cold calling personal injury lawyers as your niche and your sales process?
What would be your approach for cold calling personal injury lawyers as your niche and your sales process? Well, I've never done that, but I mean, if I was to come up with an answer, cold calling personal injury lawyers and your niche and your sales process.
I can jump in because I've done a lot of
jump in there. I mean, I can give an answer, but it'd be a theoretical answer. Yeah. So if you want to give a practical answer.
Cold calling, because I've been on the phone pretty much my whole life. Thank God not anymore, but I've done my fair share of cold calling. Honestly, the main thing that you need to focus about, and especially if you're niching down, this is really where it comes into play. Like niching down, just one script that works, and you optimize that one script. And like if you're calling, you said it was like an injury attorney, then that script should have like injury attorney lingo in there, so you understand. And you also need to understand that if you're calling an injury attorney, probably 75% of the time there's going to be a receptionist, so you're going to need to get through the gatekeeper. So once you understand all of those metrics, you're going to know like how to maneuver through that to actually get the prospect even into your funnel. And then once they're in your funnel, that's when your consultation call, once again, if you're niche down, you're talking about the clients that they need to get specifically for an injury attorney and what that looks like and what the ROI might be. And like you probably already know those numbers, right? So that's, I think, cold calling in general. Actually, I'm having a live webinar tomorrow at 12 p.m. I think there's like, let's see, there's literally, I'm checking for you right now. There's 243 people registered for tomorrow's webinar, and it'll probably get to like 500, close. Nice. And that's going to be on building a call center and cold calling and all that cool stuff. So Jason, you're more than welcome to join us on tomorrow's webinar. Just make sure you register. You probably got the email from DashClicks. If not, you can open up a ticket or jump in a Facebook group, Marketers Mindset group, and you'll see a link there pinned up at the top to join that. But yeah, once again, Akbar, we're running out of time here with the last minute here. Thank you so much for joining us on this Dash University episode. Thank you so much for coming in here and providing your business knowledge, your motivation knowledge, your mindset, like everything combined. It's always, we've had tons of conversations at a couple events. And every time I speak to you is always like, I want to speak more and more and more. And like, I remember even one time when we even went out, right? And everybody was like, we had a table and everybody was out drinking. And just me and you were just sitting there. We were just like 2 hours just talking about like ClickFunnels and traffic sources and business building. We didn't care about anything that was going on around us. Yeah. And that's the type of, and going back to what Akbar said, that's the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. People that you can have those deep conversations with, that you don't need to talk like small talk stuff that just is like going to go in one ear out the other and just
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
unuseful information. So
Yeah.
thank you for providing me with useful information. Thank you for being a good friend. Thank you for being a loyal member to our community and helping them out and stuff like that. I really, really appreciate it. Any closing statement that you want to say? If people want to follow you and get more information from you, where's a good place that they can follow you, or a group that they can join, or anything?
Yeah, no, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. I guess Facebook's a good place. I have a group. Matter of fact, I tell you what, if, you want me to give a free book?
Go for it, man.
You want one of those
Love it.
cheesy internet marketing things? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do a cheesy internet marketing. You ready for this?
Text 432 too. No, just
text yellow Lamborghini right now. No, I have a book. It's pretty good. It's called Seven Figure. What the hell is it called? Seven Figure Funnels that slap you in the face with a. Hold on a second. 7 Figure Funnels that slap you in the face with a cold fish blueprint on how to build a 7-figure online business in just 7 ethical steps. Smiley face.
Okay, if you want that, that's the domain name.com. So just go to that.com.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You can go to 7figurebook.com.
There you go. Okay.
The 7-figure, a little shorter. Yeah, there you go.
Go out and you can get Akbar's book, read it. I haven't read it, so I'm going to go grab it too. I love reading books.
Nice.
Talk about like good mindset and business ethics. I love it, man. Once again, 7figurebook.com. Go get the book from Akbar.
And I'll honestly, and thank you. Like, I really appreciate coming in. And I'll just leave on one note, and that is like, it's a simple note, and you probably heard it before, but I want you to really kind of internalize it. I'm technologically illiterate. If you go to my funnels right now, they have tech issues, they have spelling and grammar issues. There's not even proper email sequences hooked up to them. If a typical digital marketer would look at my stuff, they're like, what the hell? Like, how are you finding any success? I'll tell you my number one secret, honestly, right now, and it's something that everyone can do today and every day. And that has honestly been the one thing that really changed everything for me, and that's giving. And real quick, because I don't want to leave you on like a generic kind of like, cushy message.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
How can you give? There's several different ways you can give. You all have your light within you, your gift. Use that to give good. So if you're good at speaking, spread good through that. If you're good at writing, write good to spread that. Even if you call your mom with the intention of just making her happy, and just say, hey, Ma, how you doing? Or, hey, Uncle, so-and-so, I know we haven't talked in forever, but I just wanted to say hi, how you doing? Or just doing a nice thing for your significant other or whatever. Giving is not just money. I do encourage giving money. We try to give at least 10% of gross. I only say that so, because other people have heard that and they're, oh man, okay, we started doing that. Giving will never make you poor. Giving money will never make you poor. People tell me when I go big, when my company succeeds, when I get that promotion, whatever, then I'm going to give. But the reality is the best way to go get big is to give. So you got to give from day one, and it could be that you only have $3. But I got to tell you something that, in my opinion, under the eyes of God, we're all equal. So it could very well be that your $3 is going to have more blessings in it when you give that away than, some millionaire giving away $10,000. You just got to be in that mind frame of giving every single day, whether it's your resources, your money, your time, you know what I'm saying? Just to help people, because I got to tell you something. That's my biggest secret to success. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you this because I'm curious. What's like a good charity that you give to?
So that's a great question. So again, you want to find the why that makes you cry, right? So for me, what do I support? I like to pay for the surgeries, sightsavers.org. We like to pay for the surgeries so they can get vision. Lately, what we've been really, to be honest with you, so we've sponsored a lot of orphans, right? But lately, what we've really been concentrating on is, and it's honestly what touches you. You gotta like, what really moves you? It could be an animal thing for you. Oh, I love saving squirrels from trees. Okay, great. That's not my thing at all. I don't feel for that. I love animals, but it doesn't do anything for me emotionally. But whatever moves you. So like right now, what really moves us is we love building water wells, because the situation is in third world countries like in Africa, where my parents were born. So there's a little bit of a connection there. They don't have clean water. And the parents have to take their kids out of school, and I have kids so I can relate. And the kids have to walk miles with jugs of water on their head, miles back and forth just to have water. For us, it's nothing. We snap our fingers, endless water, And the poor are staying poorer. They're dying early. They're getting diarrhea. They're getting very sick. They're not progressing just because they don't have water. So for us, it's a beautiful thing when we can build a well, and now we can actually help people break the cycle of poverty. They can now, we build one well, bro, and thousands of lives change. You know what I'm saying? So, for us, that really motivates us. That really, because, bro, at the end of the day, like, how much money do you really need to be happy? You don't really need that much, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, it's like, what really motivates you? What really pushes you? And for me, it's that kind of stuff. Like, man, let's go build some more wells. Let's go sponsor some more orphans. Let's go, help some blind people get vision. You know what I mean? So you want to find that fire within you. And I'll tell you another thing. The marketplace will pollute you and tell you, man, you want to be a peak performer. You want to crush it. You got to get up at 5 a.m. You got to have your oatmeal. You got to do your daily affirmations, blah, blah, blah. I do some of that stuff. Don't get me wrong. And a lot of it works. However, what I will tell you is that if I have a burning passion within me, I promise you, and I don't do any of that other stuff, affirmations, power sleeping, power eating, and all that stuff. If I do none of that, and I just have this burning passion within me, I promise you, I will outperform anybody who does that, sleep optimization, eating optimization, any of that stuff. I will outperform them with my passion. So I say that is the number one thing. And it all goes back down to the niche, isn't it? That niche should be your passion, that mission. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you just, this seems to be the cool way to make money online. Let me try to get 10 people and give it to DashClicks and I don't have to do anything. That's bullshit. That's not going to work. Chad will be the first person who's going to tell you that. You've got to be passionate about something, and then everything will just fall into place. I promise. It took me 10 years to figure that out, to be honest with you. 10 years of suffering, 10 years of failing, 10 years of being, degenerative. So I hope that this can be a shortcut for some of you.
I love that. I think it's beautiful, and congratulations on doing that. Seriously, that's amazing, to be completely honest with you.
Thanks, man.
So hopefully the viewers that are listening, what's funny? It's because I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, and you're the only person that actually has that level of mindset of like the whole giving thing. A lot of entrepreneurs, and it's sad to say nowadays, like the big guys, the influencers and all that stuff, like all I care about is money and the cars and the big houses and the like.
Bro, one of the ways this movement started, the Make More, Give More movement started, is I had an accountant. And this accountant was popular in the internet marketing niche. So a lot of their clients were marketers like myself, or people make money online. They wrote me a letter in the middle of a tax refund season. I think it was 2 years ago. And they're like, bro, we're proud of you. You seem to donate a lot. And I was like, oh shit. I think you guys messed up the numbers. Like, go check the numbers again. We only donate roughly like 10% of gross. I'm like, go do the numbers again. They're like, no, we got the numbers right. We see that. But I got to tell you something. No one does that. In like, rarely anyone does it in this whole online world. And they're dealing with like successful people too. And they're like, no one does that. And when I heard that, bro, I sort of it was like somebody punched me right in the gut and the throat at the same time. I was like, what? Like, don't they know? Like, wait, don't they know that this is really how you win in life? Like, this is how you get contentment. This is how you can grow. This is like the best thing you can do. Like, wait, they don't know? Okay, shit, I guess I got to go tell everybody. So that's why I come and I do all these podcasts, and I hate doing podcasts, and I go and I do all these things just to like spread this message. You know what I mean? Cause it's like, damn, I guess they don't know. I'm going to go tell them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it is.
In here. Somebody said, I would love to help. Let me know if possible. We should aspire to do the same. That's awesome.
That's what it is. And that's this whole thing's been worth it. If we can just, if one person feels that way, I'm very happy. I think it's a great spend of time. And absolutely, you'd love to help. That's exactly it. Jason, that's what I got to tell you is find that thing. Just spend a little bit of time Googling. You'll see things and you'll see videos and you'll see eventually a tear will come down your eye. Like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, in America, oh my God, these people, whatever it might be, there might be a charity organization that helps, like, like a lot of gay kids get bullied or something. You might see video like, oh my God, like, this is terrible. How can I support this? Okay, I can fund this education program that'll, prevent bullying, whatever. You'll find something that'll really move you. And I'll tell you, just like Chad said, that he puts himself in an uncomfortable situation where he has to level up. When you find that why that makes you cry, you'll want to do more just to help them,
I love it, man. Thank you once again.
And by the way, I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to preach.
Preach, brother, preach.
Well, no, but I'm just gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing about God. God promises you, okay, no matter what, if you believe in any of the three major religions of the three global monotheistic religions, God promises that you will never go poor by giving. He promises you the opposite. He promises you that you're going to get nothing but good, but by very, very, very good, both in this world and in the hereafter, if you give. So that's just what I believe.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Akbar, you are a saint. You are an angel. Next time
I'm a sinner.
real tight. Thank you once again so much for coming on. Thank you, everybody from DashU, for watching, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. We'll see you guys in the next Dash University episode. Make sure to go get Akbar's book at sevenfigurebook.com. Go get it. And I love everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Peace.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.